Okay. Thank you everyone for joining today's live session, and thanks for taking Learning Analytics Tools course. Welcome to the first live interaction course on Learning Analytics Tools. So we'll be talking about a few things. So this is the LA Tools live section. My name is Rajendran, and with me we have Jyotisha, and Jyotisha is the second year PhD student. So today what we'll do, we will first talk about the questions which has been asked in the discussion forums. We try to answer most of them, and then we will talk about the questions which is posted in the Google form which we shared like 2 days back about this live session. Then if there are any questions in the live chat, we will answer them if time permits by 3:50. So the first question is we're going to address is this. Somebody asked me, is data mining and data analytics the same? So it is related, but they're not same. So the view is that data analytics are very big. Under data analytics, there can be a data mine. So data mining is specifically for mining the patterns, trends, and how this change happened over the period of time, those things. And the patterns we mined from the data mining algorithms may not be directly applicable for the any ML method or classification or prediction it. But we can identify the general trends or the process out of the the data. Whereas analytics is that all the steps of all the steps of ML pipeline can be installed. For example, the data collection, data processing, data visualization, and prediction, analysis, all these things involved in the analytics. So we, in our course, if you look at it, it's basically about the learning analytics. Mining comes only in the sequential pattern mining and process mining. These two are the mining algorithms. We don't really talk about other mining algorithms in the course. So I hope this answered the question whoever posted in the discussion forum. The second question is, why don't we include students and teachers among stakeholders here? In general, when we talk about stakeholders, of course, teachers and students are the main. We call students are learners. Actually, we're seeing learners, all the learners are the stakeholders. So the stakeholder is a different level. The learner is the key stakeholder because whatever the analysis we are doing, understanding the process is to adapt, provide a personalized content so that the student can do better in, do better in their own, the learning environment. So learner is the key. Then the teacher can get a dashboard. Teacher, instructor, researcher, you consider all of them one. Then administrator, then the fund. Suppose if you get a funds from the government organization or the private organization, we should talk to them. So these are the four key. We put learner, student all together key. The second step is teacher, instructor, researchers, designers, all these people. Then we can include content developer, course curriculum developer. Then there's the admin of this particular institute. Then there's a fund giver, like if it's a fund by the government or fund by the private. So yes, we include both. It's not we don't include. If it is something wrong, we sent a wrong, message or content in the slides. Please consider this as the right one. Elaborate what with examples, scaffolding, and personalized learning. Okay, let me talk about scaffolding. What is scaffolding in general sense? If you look at, if you go to Google, type scaffolding. Scaffolding is the support system which is created while constructing the tall building. Suppose we are constructing a building, we set up scaffolding systems like using the bamboo sticks. They construct scaffolding, then they construct the building, and once the building stands on its own, we remove slowly the scaffolding. Right? That is called scaffolding. Scaffolding is providing the support till you reach that particular place. Then slowly we remove one by one, scaffolding will be removed. If you consider the scaffolding system for ground floor, then they go first floor, they remove when they stand on the ceiling and everything, they go to second floor. So they keep improving. So similarly in education, scaffolding is used for the one particular theory called the zone of proximal development, where we provide a student with some support. With the support, student or learner can move from one zone to other zone. Then eventually remove those support. Student can explore the field. Again, another support to move to the other zone. That's called scaffolding. And personalized learning is, it's important here. The personalized learning is that we understand that particular students have a particular issues or the certain misconceptions. In a general feedback, for example, if I'm creating a system, if the student answers wrong answer, I want to give the explanation or hint. It's a general feedback, but I want to provide a feedback based on the student's profile, students' time they spent on it, the students' the previous performance. Then the personalized learning will come in. For example, if a student is taking only 2 seconds to read the question and they selected randomly one option and they selected submit, which we understand the student did not even spend time to read the question. Now, if I give a generic feedback of, hey, this is explanation of this question, you did it wrong or did it correct, it makes no sense. Here, the personalized feedback will be based on the time the student spent in. Okay, I think you did not read the question. Why can't you read again or something like that? If the student is doing this, randomly clicking the answers for 3-4 questions, student is not interested to learn. However, whatever support or scaffolding or the feedback you provide, the student is not interested to learn. So then the system should be bit personalized based on that. How to do this personalization? We create a rule-based algorithm. For example, if the time is less than certain threshold, we can provide this feedback, something like that. So we want a true AI system to be doing it, but as of now, almost all the personalized learning environment are rule-based systems, if-else logics. I hope this answer is also clear. And is this course related to only education domain or any other domains like healthcare, logistics? The fundamental, the fundamental algorithm is learning analytics. For example, how to collect data. You can collect data in the classroom or MOOC. What is the raw data? What are the actions? After you extract those, what exactly you can do? You can convert them into you can convert them into features. After starting features, you can predict your hypothesis, you can provide a preventive care, and everything can happen. So we are talking about data with examples of education domain. When we say we collected data for students reading, the student's mark is less than 40 mark, we all know that, oh, the 40 mark is not a pass mark. We all know the students reading less than 3 minutes is not really reading. Well, how do we know? Because we know the domain. We are trained in education for last so many years. Our schooling system for 17 years. Then we did something else for graduation, undergraduation, post graduation. All this thing, right? So we know the system very well. So when the edtech data given to us, we are able to apply our knowledge quickly. If you want to apply the same knowledge in a healthcare or logistic, you should understand the domain knowledge. For example, in healthcare, if you talk about a particular the diagnosis test or something, some blood level, some level is given to you. How do you even understand what that means? You need a knowledge. So of course, this course will help you to understand the basics of learning analytics using the edtech data because it is easy. Everyone can connect to it. Apply the same, transfer this knowledge to the other domains also possible. Okay. So it's not that it cannot be transferred. It's an idea, and we want you guys to start learning this particular topic. Start your hands, right on these kind of tools. So this is a bit of the big question. I'll read it out. How is the data stored in MOOCs, which allow click user data? The NPTEL data SOM is not storing any data because NPTEL is hosting all the videos in the YouTube. YouTube have analytics at the higher level, not the individual level. Of course, they have individual data, but they're not sharing. They can share the analytics data of the higher level, like how many people watched it, which particular part of segment of the video is watched more. Those kind of data, we can get it. But in a MOOC, for example, edX or Coursera or ITBobX, they have stored the data of each learner's clicks in terms like what action they perform, what is the clicks they do. It has been shared. It is not unknown. Okay, people sharing this data. How this data is stored? If you have access to Moodle, Moodle is the one of the learning management system. You can go to check the data in the Moodle. You can see the data stored in the Moodle. Data stored in the format of CSV. Comma separated fashion, right? So in a CSV files, there is a column for student ID, timestamp, action. That's what we are trying to tell you. Timestamp, student ID, action, and the context where the action is happening. With this data, you can do analysis. And data can be stored in JSON format. Data can be stored in XML format. It is based on the designer or the developer who created the system, which format they want to store. If the data is stored in a current setting, in the current scenario, use any data visualization tools. You can use the tools like Power BI, that is by Microsoft. It is a freemium for a few months. Google Studio, it is also free if you have a Google account. Google Data Studio, it's called Google Data Studio. Or you can use Tableau, its online version is free. Tableau Online is free. Or you can use the software Orange, which we talk about in this course also, right? So you could use any of this data, open the data in any format, XML, JSON, or in the CSV. It will give you the data in the format, and you can start plotting your plots, descriptive analytics, all you can do that. So it's the tools are very simple. Initially, like say some 10 years ago, we have to write a set of codes, read this data, everything. As of now, this fantastic tools are doing almost all the work. In fact, if you can't figure out what is this data, what is the meaning, you can put a sample of data in a chat GPT. Ask them, hey, this is the data, what can I do next? ChatGPT can give you a proper response. But ChatGPT, you have to give a proper queries, not general queries. So that is that level of advanced in this world now. So not the analyst, okay. So there's not much knowledge required for this. First of all, once you upload a data into a particular, once you have the particular data loaded, what you have to do, there will be data with the features coming in. If you're in EdTech domain, you can understand what each features means. For example, this is reading. If you're in other domain, it will need a lot of your domain knowledge to understand what that features mean. And the data, as you know, data has multiple types, like, it can be called in ordinal or numerical values. So you need to look at the data, what is each value means. If you know that, not much knowledge beyond that is needed. Kind of the world is going where it's like a no code analysis. You can take the data and we can do anything in that. I hope this answers your question. You want to add something? Okay. So, okay, example is what is process mining. So what is process mining? In process mining, suppose let's consider this example. There's a bank call center calling say hundreds of people every day. There's an employee is calling hundreds of potential customers and asking them, do you want a bank personal loan? Do you want credit card, everything? There'll be like some 20-30 will be calling. So there like 3,000 to 5,000 calls has been made every day. Then out of 3,000-4,000, maybe 99 people would say no, or 1 or 2 say yes. So out of 5,000, maybe 50 people say yes. After 50 people say yes, then the next step will be asking about the documents and there more details, how much money, negotiation happens. Then there'll be a lot of filtering happens. Then next step will be finally verifying the document and the money spent. Then checking whether they were able to repay the money or not. Those credits rating and that comes up. Then loan is disbursed, then EMI started. The whole process of which users say yes, which users not saying yes, which users going to accept this, all this thing is we can't really understand by looking at the data. Instead, we can use the process mining, which finds that what are the two actions which are highly correlated. It tries to put that particular plot. In process mining, most significant actions are stored, so non-significant actions or concepts are removed. So the whole process how a person come take the how a person can from the calling the customer to successfully landing a loan can be mined. So process mining actually happening in the oil mining industries, like where to what to do everything. So now that's why you see process mining software Proem. The logo is actually the oil mining factory thing. Where we are trying to understand if a student is interacting with the open-ended system, it's not a structured system. Students is free to use whatever they want to use. And what makes some students are successfully complete the task? What makes some students who are not able to complete the task? That model can be done using the process mining. That is the idea. I think what you would, if you are interested in process mining, I would suggest go and watch Vanderhel's course on process mining. The professor who created the Proem tool has also a course in the YouTube. Go and watch his course, and he talks about not only the one particular process mining algorithm. We use a fuzzy miner, right? He will use heuristic miner, alpha miner. You get the idea of more miners and how to use the process mining tool, and it is free for us. So process mining is a very powerful tool, and if you have the proper sequential data to do it. So yeah, we cannot add too much to the process mining because in our course, it's just one particular topic. We want to cover at least 6 to 8 algorithms in this course. That's all we did it, okay? So what is data set containing outliers? Okay, this is an interesting question. So we can identifying the data sets who are outliers by using box plot and find out whether, you can do a data set identify by using plotting it using the different plots like we discussed in the class. But how to analyze this data set? So what I would suggest is there's a fantastic data cleaning challenge on outliers is posted by Kaggle, and it's a code. There was the challenge which is to clean the data, and this particular person, the Kaggle user, has created a code and he posted it in the thing. So actually, if you read it, he explains he plots the data into a box plot, he explains how the data has been cleaned, and it has all the code to it. So I would suggest go through this particular, the content. Process of feature scaling with one example. So again, there's a feature scaling or a normalization. So what we can do is we have to make sure that all the data from all the different sensors, for example, if you're dealing with the system with eye tracking and also the facial expressions or a different type of sensors, and if so consider itself giving the values of the different ranges, we want to put it in the common range. That's why this standardization can come in. But to explain the process, again, I'm sharing another fantastic link. It's called Analytics Vidya. And it's about feature scaling, machine learning, and normalization strategy. It talks about it in detail and explains the process. Again, here, we can use the simple upsampling or downsampling. But if you don't know about the distribution, is it normal or Gaussian? I would ask you to use SMOT algorithm. There's an algorithm called SMOT. It synthetically actually creates the more upsampling data based on the distribution of data. It was not considering whether it's normal distribution or Gaussian distribution. Given any distribution of data, it tries to upsample to maintain the same properties of the particular distribution. You can check the SMOT algorithm for this. Yeah, this was a question about the difference between can I take the value of 6 or 6.5. Actually, you already answered it. Mathematically, this difference should not make any difference because we are taking different to that one. Even if we take 6.5, both are 6. So if the rank, suppose consider there are two ranks, 6 and 7, and you put it to 6.5, be 0.5, 0.5 difference. 0.5 square will be 0.25. If you consider 6 and 7, one will be 0, other will be 1. So there's a difference is 1, the value will be 1. But this 0.25 or the 1 will not make much difference while you do perform this, correlation analysis, Spearman. So because when we're doing the correlation, we are not doing really with a 10 or 5 data. You'll be doing with 50 or 60 data sets. When you do those things, these small changes will not really impact. And what we try to do in this algorithm, it's a one way of doing it. Or the simple way is rank the correlation and do dependent and independent values and do the Pearson correlation. The simple case is go ahead and use any online calculator and use it. My one suggestion will be try with both. Suppose you are talking about what if I'm 3 values of the same thing. Try doing 6.33, 6.33 on the values. Try computing it. Or you can put all of them as 6, try computing it. And see what difference it makes. It won't make much difference. If it is 3 values, no, 6 or same, it is not a rank of 6 or 7. It is rank of 6, 7, and 8. So maybe over to 6.6 is something like that. But yeah, try with the different values and try. Mathematically, it won't make much difference because we are trying to compare rank 6 versus the other value. It can be 6, 6.5, it's fine. So if you're that's exact question. If you're repeated more than 3 values, we don't need to take the mean, we should take the square. It's up to us. Okay, what happened? Okay, what is state transition probability? Okay, there are a couple of questions asked on that. Now, so let's consider there's a sequence of read. Okay, the sequence of read, write, video, read, video, forum, read. If I consider the sequence, then there are 3 times read occurred, which means there will be a possibility of read going to the next action. Okay, this next action is not there, so 2 times read occurred. Okay, so read occurred 3 times. Then there's a read. There are 4 states. Each state, read, write, video, and forum. There are 4 states. Consider 4 different states. All 4 different actions a student can do. Now, from read to read, is there any read to read? There's no self loop. There's no loop. So the probability is 0. From read to write, the student did once. So there's a probability of read to write occurred once, but read to other transaction. How many times read to something else happened? Else can be anything. It occurred only 2 times. Read to write once, read to video once. At the last one, read, there's no other action. So we consider only 2 transactions happen from read to next. It can be write or video. So the read to write will be 1/2. Read to video will be 1/2. What this exactly means? Suppose a user is reading a page. There's a 50% probability the user next will watch, whether go for the right action or will go to video watch. That's what this particular the transition tells. So it tells that from the given value, the student is reading, he would most likely to go to write a video. If this is kind of not clear, okay, let's consider the weather in Mumbai, especially during the monsoon. If it rains today, what is the probability of raining tomorrow? It will rain tomorrow also. And if it not, like most probability is right, but after 2 months, maybe the end of September, stops raining, then there's a possibility of when it is going to sun, it's all sunny all the time till whole year, till the next July. So we can look at the temperature of or the weather of our daily in our city, and we can try to plot the sequential, the state transition probability. So that's what I'm trying to explain it here with read, write, and forum. So I was wrong. This is not 3. This should be 2 because read to read is 0/2 because only 2 transactions because the read to X is only 2.
One more is there.
Which one?
Read to video. It is on the second line. So that's why it's 15.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking how this is done. Okay. So I think this is missed. Okay. So read to X is 3 times only. So read to video is 2 out of 3. Out of 3 times transition, it occurs twice. And here it's 1/3. So now, if a given any person is watching the video, there's a high probability the next action will be, sorry, if a given any person is reading a content, there's a high chance the student will go and watch the video based on the current sequence of action. So because 66% of the time the student went to watch the video. So that is the state transition diagram will come and tell you. So how to compute it is simple. You just have to find out the sequences and do it. And if it is not possible, I think given current environment, you can use any online tool to, given any sequence, it will create a state transition diagram for you. It's called transition probability matrix. A lot of tools are there to create this. Or there's a small Python code. So you can ask ChatGPT, can you give me the Python code to compute the transition probability matrix? It will give you the code. You can use the data. So the next so okay, there was one question I just did not do. So the question is that most of the content is all about introductory material. It seems very introductory, but the assignment question is in depth and a lot of knowledge is needed. Can you give me the proper, some other tools or some other reading materials? Let me tell you this. There are 2 types of, the way of teaching, right? One is 20th century teachers and 21st century teachers and learners. In 20th century, we try to, there's a professor, there's a teacher, is kind of the person who has a knowledge source, and it transfers all the knowledge to the students by different methods of learning and teaching methods. But in 21st century, the role of instructor is just to create a curriculum in a certain structure and motivate the learners to do it. What we try to do, we can't go in deep into each lecture, and we don't want to miss few items which are more important to cover the whole learning analytics. We want to understand, you collect data, you're able to plot it, do some tools, predict it, then learn about natural language processing, multimodal learning analytics, affect computing. We want to also cover those things. So that's why we try to introduce the topic, the terminology, the basics of each topic has been given, explained in the topics. It might be we're explaining with very simple, 10 action, 10 sequence. I request everybody to take it forward, go and search and read more if you're interested in a particular topic. For the exam, it's this much of simple topic is enough. For example, if you're talking about cogents kappa, you would be doing for the 2x2 matrix. I would recommend you to try for 3x3 matrix. That's the push you want to do. That's all. Okay. So now we'll go to the questions in the Google form. Most of them are covered actually, but 2 or 3 questions is not covered. So we'll talk about it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Okay, the course structure is very vast. It's a topic so far. So the aim is to motivate the learners to introduce the topic and motivate the learners to search the related work also. So you can go and search any latest tech, in the system and do it. So next question is, yeah, that's one good question. I think someone wants to create analytic dashboard for collecting data from those suffering from affect-related issues. So that, if I understand correctly, the tool is that there should be a tool where the person can come and watch the video. After watching the video, they should select set of answers and questions. Based on those answers, will come to the doctor. The doctor looks at all the data of some, say, 10 participants or 20 participants. Based on the diagnosis, the doctor can recommend what to do next. So it should contain a video watch followed by some questions. So you can have questions in the next screen or in the same screen also possible. Within the video also possible. It's all different stories now. So this, if you are a college teacher, if you have access to the UG students, especially computer science students, if you know anybody, this is a fantastic, good project for the UG students. A lot of students who are in computer science now, they want to do some project, but they don't know what is the project. So help them to tell them this is a project. You tell them it's a full stack development involved, where you have to define the front end and back end and everything. Or then they can do, can choose any stack and the student can do. Or if you want to try your hands on this developing a whole system, Install WordPress in your system. WordPress is the content management software service for website creation. It allows you to install multiple plugins. So I would suggest install WordPress in your computer, then install a plugin called H5P. H5P allows you to add videos. You can add in-video questions. Within the video, you can add a set of questions. Or just below the video, you can add questions. And all those data can come to dashboard also to you. If you don't want to create your own system, and if you're fine with uploading your content in a commercial system, please check the interactive video services. When you search interactive video services, you would get Edpuzzle or something like that. Now go and search Edpuzzle, similar to Edpuzzle, equivalent to Xpuzzle. You get a more and more different options for you. We are giving you Edpuzzle as one of the known commercial systems. Edpuzzle gives you limited amount of user for 7 days, or maybe few minutes video, few users video, where you can simply upload the videos. You can also add the questions to ask students video watching behavior. Are they play, pause? Are they watching which particular speed? Everything is captured with this performance to this particular answers has been captured and given to you. So that is the interesting one. You can check it. Also H5P org. H5P is the organization which created this HTML5 structure, right? So it has the common structure plugin. It has been used for everybody. It's a free. But H5P also has something called org. It allows you to upload video up to a limited size, say 5 MB or 8 MB size. There's something called h5p.com where they allow you to upload a lot of video, but you have to paid membership. H5P is free for limited set of videos. You can try it out. If you're really interested, you can pay a small subscription fees and you can conduct your study or collect the data or use the nearby. These are the commercial systems. If you don't want a commercial systems, please try the WordPress one. That is very interesting. Yeah, the another question in Google form is significance of action with an example. So it is very, it is from the process mining, right? So what action is significant? What is the correlation? So it's very simple here. For example, consider I have a sequence of events, which is read, video, read, write, forum, read, write, read, forum, video, read, video. So if you look at it, which action is most frequently occurred? That is read. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times read occurred. So read occurred 7 times. So read is the most occurred action in this sequence. According to this sequence, the most significant action is read. So most students did read action. Now, since it is the most significant action, I'm assuming the significance of value of read is 1. So R is equal to 1. With respect to read, what are the significance of other actions? It is not in general the thing with respect to read. For example, if you look at the video occurred 1, 2, and 3. So video occurred 3 times, read occurred 7 times. So 3 by 7, this 0.42 is the significance of video action. Then there is a write action. Write action occurred 1, 2, 3. So write action also occurred 3 by 7. So write action is also 0.42. Now forum 1, 2. So 2 by 7 is the forum action. Sorry. Forum is 2 by 7. I hope it is clear, right? Now, which action is most significant? Of course, it is read action. Which action is least significant? The forum action is least significant. Given a sequence, some action, for example, in a read occurred, say, 1,000 times. And suppose there's an action called forum or chat occurred only 5 times. Compared to 1,000 times a read occurred of all the students, 5 is a very small number. So, it's 0.5, right? So what you want to do, you can, it's a point, it's not 0.005, the significant value, right? So what you can really do is that action is not significant, you can ignore the action. That is the option you are selecting in the process mining. The least significant option actions with no correlation with other actions are removed. If it is least significant actions, which is highly correlated, highly occurring always with some other action, combined together, clustered together. That is a process mining rules for the fuzzy miner. I hope this is clear because, yeah, that's exactly the question. So it's based on the most frequent action. Based on that most frequent action, the significant action is covered. Okay. I think now let's go to the questions from.
But it's on a transition diagram.
Yeah, I think we did the transition diagram with 3-4 variables. I think we did that in a previous slide. Okay, one problem faced in the data studio would be 15 minutes lag to load the live data. So what actually happens is data studio is, since it is free, what happens if you load the raw data, definitely it will take a lot of time. What I would suggest is if you have Google Colab, look at the codes to pre-process the data. Like if you are giving a lot of data, pre-process it, only give certain features with combination of removing all the pre-processing data, only the numerical values converting into one-not encoding or something like that. When you give that data, Data Studio works. We also face the similar issue in Data Studio because it takes a lot of time. And Data Studio is fantastic because it gives you the interactive dashboard which others lag it. If you want really a good system, I would suggest you to try Tableau online. That would be a bit faster. Okay. Will other interactive elements like word grids, flashcards, etc. also work via? Yes, yes. All the flashcards, all the H5P components will work in the WordPress. There are around 30 different plugins. Like there's an image given, drag and drop on the right image, arrange in the sequential order. All these things are possible in the WordPress. So you have to just implement the H5P plugin. And what about the lead video? Yeah, I missed it. Thanks for that. And I think that is why, I think maybe the question is based on that. Like the lead video I kind of missed. That's why I think that is why the lead video is kind of missed. I considered it. Otherwise, it would have been a right. Thank you. I hope you mean that. I'm sorry, there. Okay, learning. Okay. S1 video forum, video quiz, lead quiz. What is the significance of quiz for the student one? So the quiz occurred twice. Which action occurred most? Video, 3 times video occurred. I can see video as the 3 times.
Read also 3 times.
Read also 3 times. So read and video both are 3 times, which means both are significantly 1. Because video is the 3 times. If I read also 3 times, 3 by 3 equal to 1. The quiz occurred twice. So 2 by 3 is 0.66. I hope you are not asking the assignment questions, okay? Is it assignment question?
No.
No, okay. Okay. Okay, thanks. I think that's all the questions. And thanks all for joining today. And we are actually enjoying the lot of discussion forum questions. And this time there are a lot of active participants. And we are happy. And also, I hope you are interacting with one of our students, Indraini, to solve the assignment course of last year and last week questions. Keep posting your questions. We'll try to meet again in a month, and we can have another interaction on that. Okay. Assignment 4, what's appropriate person of students having? I'm really don't have the access to assignment 4 question. If you have doubt, please raise that question in the discussion forum, or when Indraini comes for the discussion, you can ask her. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we replied to this question, assignment 4, question 2. I think it is related to the box plot. So we have replied, we'll do the correction in that marks distribution.
Okay. If the question is wrong, please let us know. We can arrange the marks distribution. Yeah.
Can we track user data via?
Can we track user data via Google Analytics coming from H5P plugin or on WordPress website? If you use H5P plugin also gives you the data to you. when you use Excel plugin, it also gives you data to you. So you don't need to have separate Google Analytics. Google Analytics will give you the data from which page to other page the student is moving on, how much time the student spent on each page, which device he is coming from or she is coming from, which country she is coming from. But H5P plugin will give you the actions within those video watching, like watching, play, pause time, seek, which area they seek. Those informations will come. So I would go and give a try on Edpuzzle, create a code and try to get the fantastic data, actions, and logs you can get it. Okay, thanks everyone for joining today, and I will stop it now. If you have any questions, please post us, and we'll keep you posted on next interactive section. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just pushing. Yeah, stop sharing. Done.